What's up? It's Matt back with another live expert roundup. I got a guy that wrote this book. He's got it behind him. I've got it in front of me. We'll be back in 1 second.
Sorry, I had to go close. I had to go close the door of my office, make sure no one came in.
I thought you took off. I'm like, damn, he's gone.
He's gone.
He got abducted. He got human trafficking.
No, I tried to get back in time.
So tell us, before I ask my question, tell us who Ryan, the restaurant boss, is, and tell us in like 30 seconds this book.
So I'll do my YouTube introduction because if anyone's ever heard of me, that's what they always want me to say whenever I speak live. Hey, everybody, Ryan Gromfin, author, speaker, chef, restaurateur, founder of therestaurantboss.com, ScaleMyRestaurant.com, and now author of Make It Happen. So I help restaurants with operations, increase profits, systems, training, management, leadership, hiring people, right? And then this has been, a 10-year labor of love. Matt, you've written books, I didn't know until I started writing it. When I sat down about 10 years ago to write a book, I was like, this is going to be easy. Yeah, not so much. So this book is just, at the end of the day, it's been such an honor and a privilege to serve this industry, an industry that this is all I know. I grew up in the industry, got my first job at 15 years old, working in a restaurant as a cook. I couldn't even drive myself to work. Can you guys imagine my mom dropping me off at the loading dock at a high-end country club, like the words and the way I was treated? But this industry is everything I know, and I absolutely love this industry. And just really quickly, I would go to work nervous. I would go to work scared. I'm a chef background, and I hated that feeling of, am I going to get yelled at today? Am I going to get fired today? What did I do wrong today? So when the opportunity presented itself, I wanted to start coaching and consulting. And, the challenges with coaching is you can only work with a few clients at a time. And so I always wanted to write the book. I wanted to have the Cliff Notes version of everything I teach accessible to everyone. And it's just been such an honor and a privilege to be sharing this with the world.
Awesome. Well, I love it. So my first thing, I want to ask you a question, because this is a question that drives me bonkers. And it's the question that everybody asks everywhere in business and in life and in restaurants. And I, for one, think it needs to go away. But I also have a solution to replace it. And it's something I'm working on. So it's kind of a shameless plug that'll come eventually. But
think I know where you're going, but I'm
Friday night, I go to walk in. It's every restaurant. I'm telling Luis, me and Luis are walking to Morton Steakhouse down in, where the heck was I? Miami. And we're walking in there. And I said, we're talking about the 3 questions restaurants always ask. And I said, the first question drives me crazy. And the second one is, what do you want to order? What do you want to eat tonight? And the third one is, how are you paying? And so the first question is, hey, how you doing? And I literally hate it from a standpoint that you don't actually give a shit. Like, I don't know that 90% of the conversations I have where somebody starts off with, hey, how are you doing? And I'm guilty. I ask it occasionally because it's a nuanced question. But from a restaurant standpoint, what are you going to say if the person says, man, terrible. Like, just got shot in a drive-by. My car got stolen. I found out my wife left me and I got fired. Oh, you want pizza?
I was just going to say, well, tonight's special is the T-bone.
So my goal, because that's one thing I've noticed, like we've visited thousands of restaurants the last couple of years. And me and my team internally have always done this thing I call an attention audit. There's 6 ways that we have found. I got 5 fingers held up, but 6. But restaurants can get attention. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in the marketing world is that restaurants don't get enough attention, which is why people don't come back. Like, I just did a video, which of all things, my car is the reason. It's on YouTube. It's pretty funny, part of it, but it's where my car led me to not go to one of my favorite restaurants for a couple months because I was driving it and it was fun to drive and I was avoiding their road because they're not on the expressway. They're on a busy street. And so I quit driving by their restaurant every day for like 2 months. I quit eating there. Yep. And so their only form of me seeing their brand went away. And so we're talking about this. And I'm like, I want you to imagine if every time somebody, I was telling a guy today, every time somebody walked in your restaurant, he's a fast casual pizza place. They walk up to the thing. And instead of you asking the bullshit question, hey, how you doing? I mean, you don't really care. They don't really care how you're doing. If they ask it back, it's just the nuance. Why not ask them something unique? Like, for example, Saturday, I have my Pop-Tart socks on. I have different socks I wear all the time. Today, They're flamingo socks.
I should. Well, let's see what I think. I'm wearing my Big Bird. I'm wearing Big Bird socks. I'm not flexible enough. I can't do what you just did. Well, I'm also standing.
I can almost put my foot behind my head.
Wow, that's a talent.
I don't know how you
lost about 27 years ago.
So I had my Pop-Tart socks on. The reason I bring that up was I'm telling this client, I said, I want you to imagine, I want you to envision that every day of the week, 365 days a year, your restaurant from my team gets a conversation starter. And it's for the simple purpose of when that person walks up, they say, Ryan, welcome to the restaurant. I got one question today. Do you pop your Pop-Tarts in the toaster or do you eat them cold?
So are you asking me if I pop?
What are you a popper or you're not?
I'm absolutely a toaster.
Thank you. How the hell do people not toast Pop-Tarts? Like they're called
Pop-Tarts. They're good cold right out of the package.
Yep.
But to the point where the frosting almost burns you, but the jelly inside absolutely burns you. Golden brown on the outside.
So here's my theory. And I've proven it to some extent, and I'm going to prove it big time this year. People want to smile. You don't smile enough.
Yep.
Right now, the stat is like, if you go to americasbestrestaurants.com/stats, there's our stats live on there. I don't market the page a ton, but it's a page that we used to use internally. But right now, let me click over there and see, just to give you a quick look at this, just from the visual. I'll say it out loud. I won't show the screen. But americasbestrestaurants.com/stats.
I've got the answer to what you're talking about. So, I've got the better question, better answer solution.
Yeah. So 3% of restaurants right now that we have visited the last couple of years are asking consumers to join some type of program in the restaurant. 3%. So 97% have just given up hope of you ever coming back on demand. And so my thought, what I'm working on is I want to do a couple things. Like in that case there, what we're creating is within our marketing program, when people engage on social media in a certain manner, we can engage them in Messenger and get their name, phone number, email, birthday, visit frequency, a lot of badass stuff so they talk to them. But I'm like, you know what? Imagine every day of the week, somebody walks in your restaurant and your employees have a unique way and say, hey, are you a flats or a drums guy when it comes to wings? Oh, I'm a drums guy. Okay, cool. Do me a favor. Go to Instagram. You see this post? Yeah. Comment right now on that post. Scan this code to go there. It'll take you right there. Comment on it. When you comment on it, you're going to be entered to win a contest. And if you're not in our VIP program, which are you, by the way? No, I'm not. Cool. It's going to fire you something extra, free dessert next visit. You'll love it. So it does a fun interaction in the restaurant. It gets engagement on social media. It gets rid of that bullshit conversation starter. Hey, how you doing? And then at the end of the day, also gets people to maybe give data. But am I on par there with the fact that we need to have better conversations when restaurant customers walk in?
Absolutely. And we need questions and conversations that actually elicit a response. So this isn't the welcome question, but this is one question. I want everyone who watches this today, tomorrow, 5 years from now to learn something that's actionable instantly. Never walk up to a table and ask, how is everything? Ask if it exceeded their expectations. Did that steak exceed your expectations? Did that hamburger exceed your expectations? Is your meal exceeding your expectations? Now, you'll eventually come up with your own wording for it, but I want you to actually use those words for two reasons. One, you probably are getting a pit in your stomach right now thinking, I can't ask that question. Matt, I saw your face kind of jump a little bit because I think right there, asking that question, is that hamburger exceeding your expectations? You're going to get a different answer that might scare you. You're going to get an answer that isn't, yeah, fine, good, it's great, everything's good. You're going to get, well, it's a little overcooked, or, well, yeah, I ordered it with American cheese, it's got cheddar. Well, I had asked for no ketchup and it has ketchup on it. Right?
I was trying to spell exceed was my problem. Somehow I don't think I spelled
I think you still spelled it wrong. And I am not the spelling guy, by the way, but I'm pretty sure
I think my E's in the wrong place.
E-D.
There we go. I was like, why does that look weird? And I'm like, oh, my E's in the wrong place.
But Tony Robbins, ask a better question, get a better answer. There's no question about it. So one, if you take nothing from today's conversation, if you don't hire Matt for his awesome marketing program, which you should, if you don't come to the restaurantboss.com and get involved in our training, which you should, If you don't read, make it happen and get it for free, which you should. And we're going to talk about it more. And Matt, I want to address your question, the better question. But one, leave today with, did that hamburger exceed your expectations? And I tell the story in the book, actually, of how I came up with that question. I was meeting with a client. We were out to dinner. And Matt, you know this. When you're out to dinner with clients, you're always kind of careful about what you order. And if there's a problem, because you don't want to be that guy. And I had ordered a steak with a salad instead of the French fries. And the steak came, and it came with the fries. And I wasn't going to say anything. It's his restaurant, whatever. Server comes up to me, and I was prepared. Server was going to say, how is everything? And I was going to say, fine. But he didn't say, how is everything? He said, did that steak exceed your expectations? And I said, well, I had actually ordered it with a salad instead of fries. And the response, I mean, I'm going to save the rest of the story for this, but amazing what happened there. And I learned that from a client. But to answer your question, I pick up the phone about 8 years ago, and I call a place in California. We needed a new mattress, my wife and I. And I was expecting, the normal, thank you for calling, whatever. This is Jessica. How can I help you? And my wife and I were like, well, we're going to go look for a mattress, but we're not buying, right? Because everyone is a shopper, but not a buyer. When you walk into Best Buy, can I help you? No, I'm fine. Even though you're buying a TV. No, I don't need help. She asked me a question. She said, thank you for calling so-and-so. How did you sleep last night? And I was like,
wow.
I was like, as a matter of fact, not great.
I slept shitty.
I slept like shit last night. And then she said, I'm available at 2:00 or 4:00 this afternoon. We'll send you home with a mattress, and I will guarantee over the next 90 days, you never have a bad night's sleep again. And I was like, forgive my language, where the fuck do I sign up?
Yeah.
Like, let's go, baby. Right? Let's go. And she did a couple of things there. I'm going to send you home with a mattress. She wasn't like, come look around. She's like, I'm going to send you home with a mattress. So basically, I'm going to buy, and I'm going to guarantee that you never have a bad night's sleep again. Done. We spent $3,000 on a mattress. It's the best mattress we ever had in our lives. We never would have bought that mattress that day. No matter how many we tried, no matter what sale they were doing, if she didn't prep me for the sale in that manner. And then I can go on, and there's more stories in the book, and I've got these great stories. But when we are greeting someone in your restaurant, the greeting that we teach, like with a kind of really fun, cool restaurant that we work with, the greeting is, oh God, I'm going to draw a blank on it now, but it's something along the lines, I can't even exactly remember it, but it's something along the lines of like, that's what it is. Welcome to so-and-so. Has your day been epic? Okay. And what do you think people say at 5:45 or at 6:30 on a Thursday night after they couldn't find a parking spot? Yeah. Their kids just got in trouble at school. They're running from a baseball game. Has your day been epic? No, it's been kind of shitty. Let's get you a couple of margaritas, some chips, and when I come back, we're going to get some food in. You guys are going to have an epic night. My name is Ryan. I promise you will leave happy. And what we've learned is this restaurant doesn't sell food, and they don't sell drinks. They sell an experience. Yeah. They sell an escape from reality. I can get food at 100 restaurants. 99 of them are pretty good. I can get drinks at 100 of them, and 99 of them are pretty good. Yeah. When we go to this restaurant, when guests go to this restaurant that is packed on Monday to Sunday every night of the week, it's because they create an escape from our shitty reality. Yeah. Now, there's a million things that go into that, but like you said, getting noticed is part of it, but also how do people feel when they leave? Yeah. Matt, I love you to death, but we don't need you. If every one of your guests has their expectations exceeded, we don't need you anymore. I mean, we do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an operations guy, and I always say, if you want to increase your sales, if you talk to an operations guy, he's going to suggest operations. If you talk to a marketing guy, they're going to suggest marketing. We both need to work together here, and we do. But my goal is, if you work with me, every one of your guests are going to leave with their expectations exceeded. And then Matt's job is easy. Now we just got to get fun stuff in front of them so they remember who you are. And when they remember who you are, they're going to remember the fun time they had, not the bad experience. So anyways.
You know who Grant Cardone is?
Yeah, of course. The private jet, Bentley, obnoxious guy.
Well, I used to think the same thing.
No, he's great. He's great.
we've actually started doing training our team with him, 10 of my employees. And I actually was just in Miami for a 3-day event of his. The guy's a genius. I mean,
he's great.
Flat out. And he was talking about that exact topic. He's like, hey, let's do some tests. And he does it on stage. He's like, you right there, what's the name of your company? Yeah, what's your phone number? What do you mean? What's your company? Are you guys open right now? Yeah, give me your phone number. He's like, when I call, it should be answered on the first ring. And when they answer, they should ask me a question that gets me to do business. Yep. Like you said there, how did you sleep last night? How did you sleep last night? And he had examples just like that because he said, that's the problem. He's like, he actually called a business one time. I was watching one of his videos. He calls this company off the blue. And he's like, hey, I want to talk to somebody in sales. I want to buy your highest program. They're like, well, who would you talk to? I don't know. Who's in sales? And this guy's in the crowd, like the owner of the company. And they're like, hold on, what program? Whatever the best one is. You guys are awesome. I need it. They couldn't get him to anybody. And he was like, my goodness, like, couldn't
even whip out the credit card and spend 20,000 even though I wanted to.
He's like, that should be the easiest part. And you're exactly right. That one, man, like, how did you sleep last night? Well, if somebody's calling a mattress place, hey, somebody's calling out a repair place. Hey, is your car running perfect right now? Things like that. So I love it. That's exactly what you can do to set expectations and then take the conversation where it was. Because like that question I posed earlier, if that mattress place you called up and said, hey, Ryan, how you doing today? That doesn't elicit the response of, how did you sleep last night?
It doesn't get me into the frame of mind that I need to be in to make a big purchase. And the one thing I always say about restaurants is like, by the time they've sat down at a table, you've made the sale. Your job is not to make the sale. Who goes to a restaurant and doesn't buy something? Now, of course, we talk about upselling, which I hate the word upselling. It's enhancing the guest experience. It's making the guest experience better. It's exceeding the guest expectations. It's never upselling. Upselling is a dirty word. People don't want to upsell and they don't want to be upsold. So we should never use that word. But the point is, you've made the sale. So your job right now is not to make the sale. Your job right now is to make sure that they're happy, that they have the best experience possible with whatever they choose, and that they leave with their expectations exceeded. And something like that woman, she knew she made the sale. Like once I made the appointment with her, because she flat out told me, she's like, you're going to go home with a mattress today. And I was like, okay, I still want to come in. So now she doesn't have to sell me. She just has to get me into the right mattress. She doesn't have to worry about my price points or am I interested or all the other BS that goes along with making a sale. All she has to do is get me into the right mattress, whether that's $1,000 mattress or $5,000 mattress, to make sure that I'm happy.
Yep.
So anyways.
No, I love it. That's kind of taken the best of both of our worlds, because I've had it happen at restaurants and we've all had it, where somebody walks up and goes, hey, is everything good? You're like, your response is like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Leave me alone. I'm busy.
The part that drives me crazy is that, like, I had breakfast a couple weeks ago with my daughter, and the food had just gotten brought out by somebody else. And the server walks up and she says, everything good? I'm like, literally just got here. Like, I haven't even taken a bite.
Did you even observe the fact that nothing has been touched yet? I love that. I absolutely love that.
So going back to my question, and I want to get your impressions on this too, because I think this ties right back in with something you're good at with regarding. You talked about, when we were talking before we went live about the keeping employees and retaining people and hiring people. One thing that I observed a lot, I worked part-time at a restaurant recently and kind of watched a lot of stuff. And I also watch a lot of other restaurants, and I observe how the people work together or don't work together. I actually texted a restaurant recently, the guy I know pretty well. And I said, hey, man, just a little FYI. I'm like, there's a lot of tension in your staff. Like, I could just tell, like, nobody liked each other. Like, I've been at this restaurant many times, and people have fun and jovial. And then other times it's like everybody's walking on pins and needles. I don't know why. And it's probably because of the manager or whatever. But one thing I've noticed, and I've talked with clients, is that, employees, when they enjoy what they do, they go home in a better mood. Their friends, their family see it. They want to go work in a place like that. They go home in a shitty mood. They don't want to work in a place like that. And that's one of my goals too with our marketing. If I can interject ways that these employees can have fun on the job and ask people crazy, stupid questions about Pop-Tarts or pineapple pizza or buffalo wings or how many Skittles are in this jar, what do you think? I think that enhances the experience and makes people realize, like, a little more than just doing your job. What are a couple hacks that you've seen restaurants do to give their employees a little more fun work day?
I'm not gonna go into like quote unquote hacks because while I understand what you're saying, to me, everything you just said is awesome, and you're probably better at coming up with those creative things like that, like the Skittles jar. What it is to me at the core, though, is does our team feel safe? And I think I said it earlier, like when I used to go to work, I worked at some of the best restaurants in the country. I worked at 5-star hotels. I worked for some of the most famous chefs in the world. I never felt like my job was safe. Now, I was young. I didn't have a family. If I got fired, it wasn't a big deal. But as I've gotten older, as I have a family, as I have responsibilities, and I was nervous then, I can't even imagine being a chef at a restaurant with 2 kids at home, working for some of the people out there and not feeling safe. Are you going to get yelled at today? Are you going to get fired today? Are the expectations going to change for you today? Now, I'm not giving chefs a free pass. Chefs, you make plenty of mistakes. Managers, you make plenty of mistakes. This isn't all on owners, but we have to create a culture where, first of all, we are allowed to coach and be coached without fear. If I critique something, if I say, hey, we need to work on this, your team shouldn't be afraid that that's a termination notice or we need to go in the office and talk and, oh my God, I'm in trouble. One of the first things I do during onboardings, part of my process is in this restaurant, again, setting the expectations. Should you take the job in this company, we believe you're going to be a good fit. We just like to go over the last couple of things before we offer you the position. One thing that we've noticed some people have struggled with in our company is we believe in feedback. We give a lot of feedback. It's constant and never ending because we want to be the best. We don't just want to be the best hamburger restaurant. We want to be one of the best restaurants in the community. We want to be a place where when guests come, they know they're going to have an amazing experience that exceeds their expectations. In order to do that, we need to have the best team. The only way to have the best team is to be coached and to be okay with being coached, right? And then I'll go into an example of the Cincinnati Reds or the Bengals or, whoever, whatever team, whatever city we're in. For that team to win, they have to get coached, which means that the receivers are going to be critiqued about what they did wrong. The quarterback's going to be critiqued about what they did wrong. Do you agree with that kind of coaching? Oh, yeah, of course. Have you been on a baseball? Oh, yeah. And then I'll say, well, we do the same thing in our restaurant. So it's not going to be surprising if 3, 4, 5 times a day, someone pulls you aside and coaches you a little bit. Are you going to be okay with that? And again, we're setting the expectation early that we're going to coach you, that you're not going to be perfect and we're not going to be perfect, but we're going to work together to make this better. So for me, I think it really starts with that safety, that feeling of I'm in a place that I understand where they're going and where they want to go, and I want to be a part of that. Some people aren't going to like that, and that's fine. Introduce them to your fiercest competitor. If you have people on your team who don't want to get better and don't want to be coached, write them a letter of recommendation, walk them next door to your competitor, introduce them, and help them get the job. But on our team, we only have people who want to be coached and want to get better and feel good about the job they're doing. Then all those little hacks and things, those are awesome. Those are fun. Those add to it. But I feel like if we just introduce some of these games, but don't create that baseline culture of coaching systems, processes, procedures, right? Part of that is also defining the job. So I use the chef as an example. Let's use the chef again. If we're constantly coaching our chef on something that they're not doing, we have to ask ourselves the question of why are they constantly not doing this? Have we set up a system for them to succeed, or have we set up a system for them to fail? If we're working our chef from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. 6 days a week, and then we're surprised that they haven't written the new special menu or costed out the menu, well, you've got him on the line 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. When is he ever supposed to do that? So we've created a system where people are not going to succeed. So that's just kind of where I like to get started. If we notice that there's that tension, that cultural challenge, that the team isn't happy, they're not excited, they're not living their best life in your restaurant, we got to go all the way back to the beginning and we got to find out what's causing that.
I love it. And I'm assuming great tips like that and others can be found in the book.
Absolutely.
And what's the best place to buy the book? Is it Amazon?
The best place is to get it for free on my website.
Free. Okay. So give me the URL.
So it's therestaurantboss.com/books. Even if you just end up at therestaurantboss.com, there's a big giant thing that says get the book for free. completely want to be honest, disclaimer, there is a small shipping charge. If you're in the United States, it's $9.97. If you're outside the United States, it's like $15.
Cool.
You could buy it on Amazon. It's listed on Amazon right now for like $15.90, $15.95. But come to our website, get the book for free. And then also, if you're interested, we have like a upgraded package. We have we have hard copies that are signed by me that come with the audio book and a couple of exercises, like a 30-page workbook to do before, during, and after you read the book. And that's a package that's available. But come check out therestaurantboss.com. Get your book. But we've also got 400, 300 free YouTube videos. We've got a toolkit with like 100 resources, spreadsheets, checklists, examples of checklists, onboarding examples, everything you would really ever need to kind of upgrade your restaurant. Between Matt on the marketing side and hopefully the restaurant boss on the operations side, I think you'll have everything that you need to crush it out there.
And you know what really excited me the most about today's conversation is that
it wasn't my good looks and my charm.
No, that you toast your Pop-Tarts.
Was that on camera or was that before?
That was on camera.
I don't remember now.
So the fact that I know that now puts me in a better place, because that's when people tell me they don't toast their Pop-Tarts, like a part of me dies, because I mean I feel like it is our duty to Pop-Tarts. Like if they're a Pop-Tart and they don't get the pop, I think that it just crushes the soul of that Pop-Tart.
The hardest part for me is that my son doesn't like the strawberry Pop-Tarts, which that is the Pop-Tart. Yeah. He gets like the Oreo Pop-Tart, and it's dark. It's really dark. And when you toast it, you don't know if you've over toasted it. And so we've had some really bad experiences with toasted Oreo Pop-Tarts. You got to go strawberry with the frosting and the sprinkles. That's the Pop-Tart.
That might be tomorrow's breakfast. Well, cool. I appreciate your time today, brother.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, buddy.
See you, man.
You guys be good.
You too.